I fear that a lot of veterans will take jobs that are not optimal for them because they're looking for health insurance, especially if they don't believe that the VA healthcare system will take care of them. And one of the things the Independence Fund has been working a lot on is reforming the VA healthcare system. The bottom line is that we hear over and over again, and we help predominantly catastrophically wounded veterans, and our executive director is a caregiver for a catastrophically wounded veteran, as well as our director of programs. But what we hear over and over is that once they get in and they get that medical care, the medical care providers are awesome. But there is this layer of medical bureaucratic administration that systematically and inherently blocks veterans' access to that care, predominantly in order to be able to either reduce cost or prevent some, fear of fraud, which don't exist, really. These people serve honorably, and now we're worried that they're going to defraud the government. I think that's a little bit. I think it's a little bit rich. So what we're really pushing for is to expand choice for veterans, and we think that if we expand choice for veterans so they can choose their own health care policy, just like the president promised. The president said, his 10th point of his 10-point plan, every veteran will be able to choose their health care provider, whether it's in the VA or outside the VA, and the VA will be able to, and the VA will pay for it. Period. We support that. Now, there's a big debate going on. There's a big debate going on in Congress right now about what that's going to look like. I recommend you go to www.realvachoice.org. That's our website. You can sign a letter to the president telling him to hang strong and make sure that Congress delivers real VA choice for veterans. And that's going to help them get their jobs, because they're not going to have to take a suboptimal job just to be able to get health insurance. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Geist, you're on the clock.
And kind of following along what Bob was saying is what we see out there in the civilian sector is skilled labor versus available people that have that skilled labor for what businesses are looking for. And I go into the same thing with what's coming out of the military. You got guys coming out of there that have led men in combat, that have taken care of their lives. As an E4 and E5 or a platoon commander, you're in charge of the basic care and welfare of your platoon or your squad or your fire team. And they have that discipline to be to work on time. They have those skills that you really can't teach except through that military experience. And the other thing they come out with is that GI Bill. I mean, if I've got a guy coming to my business and he's coming out as a veteran, he's got the leadership, he's got the discipline to be there on time, and also he has a GI Bill that is pretty broad in what he can do. So I can get him to be trained in the education side of things for that job as you see fit for your business. I mean, you can mold that person and make him a long-term player and keep that, and mold that position to where he's going to be there for the next 10 years because they have that dedication and discipline to stay with the company. They want to be part of something bigger and better than that. And those are some of the big things you see, not only here in America that they're struggling with, but even in the UK, they're running into the same thing with their veterans. And as for choice with the VA, we as veterans have to get out there and vote. I mean, we have to get registered. We have to get involved because if there's 20 million veterans in this country, 2 to 3 people in every veteran's family votes the same way as they do. You're talking a block of voters that's 60 million people. Which candidate wants those? Exactly. They want them, right? Well, we need to be involved because veterans can fix veterans' issues. We're used to fixing things. Let's get involved and keep that involved.
Get them to run.
We're facing issues today. As the president said, we need to harden our schools. I would personally take responsibility in finding the right veterans, getting them trained, and having them in every school across this nation in the next 6 to 9 months. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Travis, before I introduce you, I meant to mention, if you're interested in Travis' story, he wrote a best-selling book called Tough as They Come, which I highly recommend. Travis.
I made it up, but it's cool.
I heard that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's up? How you guys doing? All right. Thank you for having me. I'm Travis Mills, and I'm going to be a little bit honest with you. I'm a little nervous up here. I just hope I don't bomb this, because last time. Yeah.
It took you guys. You guys are a little slow this morning. Get your coffee. Come on.
I tell jokes to disarm the situation. Yeah. And thank you. I love you too. And right up front, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be honest with you. There's two things you need to know before I get started. Number one, I'm awesome. And yeah, and number two, I'm humble. In that order. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I think the biggest problem is what we always face. Show of hands, who's married? All right, show of hands who used to be married, and show of hands who's going to get married. Probably everybody raise their hand now. Communication. I think the biggest problem facing our veterans today when they get out of the military is communication breakdown. There are so many wonderful people like on the stage that are out there fighting every day for veterans issues and veterans job placement and health care and benefits, and things get passed. But that information doesn't get disseminated down to the troops, if you will. So I think that the GI Bill, people think it pays for just college. No, it'll pay for a trade school. It'll pay for you to get your CDL so you can go drive trucks. I'm close friends with Mike Rowe, so I love the stuff he's doing. And I think that you need to have the veterans that get out understand the opportunities that they do have in front of them. Now, a lot of it, to be honest, it's not just what you know, it's who you know. So I've been able to help my friends and people that reach out to us get them placed in at least interviews. And I encourage anybody that has somebody that's looking for a job to reach out. I mean, I'm a motivational speaker. I travel this nation, talk to big companies. And if there's a good fit for a company, I don't mind asking a favor. So a lot of it's about who you know. But I think that with the communication and understanding what benefits are out there is what really will drive veterans to get put in jobs and put in career fields that they'll be sustaining in. Because like you said, people get in jobs and they hate it. And they want to change that. So to find out what their drive, their purpose, and what their passion is, it's all about communication and finding how we can get them in those jobs. Now, on top of that, I've seen a lot of you ladies checking my legs out. I'm married, so it can't happen. And to answer everybody's question, still got it, still works. And my wife and I just had, my wife and I had our second child. We named him after the two medics saved my life. His name's Dax, so thank you. Thank you. But as far as the nonprofits out there, like Independence Fund, who they did help me, all right? I do have a track share. We have a nonprofit in Maine that you guys saw a little video on. We bring up combat injured veterans and get them out there doing things. We helped 88 families last year, and we built their confidence. We let them know, hey, look, you're not alone. There's a network of people out there like you, and we want to say thank you to you and your family and give them a place where they can feel barricade-free, be able to do things like kayak and go tubing and go on a horse and do archery, and let them know there's people out there like you that you can reach out to. It's all about instilling confidence. And I think that's true for what the foundation that I run is, because it's all veterans that have been combat injured or they've been through service-connected injuries with spinal cord injury, paralyzation, or amputation, such as myself. But you know what? There's veterans out there that also need that little boost. They need an obstacle in front of them. I think that what I push is always a hand up, not a handout, because you don't want it. Thank you. Yeah.